In this lesson, I'm going to teach you lots of useful vocabulary for talking about salary and pay. Make sure to leave me a comment when you've finished watching this lesson to let me know which words or phrases were new for you or which ones you found most useful. And now, let's get started. Your gross salary is the amount you earn before tax and other deductions. Deductions are amounts of money that are taken away from your salary, usually for things like tax, health insurance, or pension contributions. What is a pension contribution? This is an amount deducted from your gross salary and paid into a pension plan, which is like a long-term savings plan for your retirement. This is the amount you earn after tax and deductions, the money that's paid into your bank account by your employer every month or every 2 weeks. We can also say net pay, and the same goes for gross salary. We can also say gross pay. Now let's have a look at some examples with the vocabulary we've covered so far. The company is offering a gross annual salary of $45,000. The annual salary is the whole salary for a 1-year period. Companies automatically make tax deductions from their employees' salaries. How high are your pension contributions? What kind of pension plan does your company offer? And now let's go back to net pay for a moment. After all, that is the most important number for a lot of people. Here are a few different ways to talk about it. We often use the verb take to talk about our net pay. For example, I take home about $2,000 a month after tax. And we can also use take together with home like an adjective. My take-home pay is about $2,000 a month. This is a very common way to talk about what you earn. And the simple version, my net pay is about $2,000 a month. But be careful. In a lot of cultures, the topic of how much a person earns is very private, so it's not always appropriate to ask or talk about it. A pay rise or pay raise is an increase in your salary, and this is something that you can ask for at any time, but it's most often discussed during a performance appraisal or performance review. This is a meeting you have with your boss or supervisor to discuss your past performance and future goals. I'm going to ask my boss for a pay rise at my next performance review. If it's clear that we're talking about salary, we don't always have to use the word pay. We can also say, I'm going to ask my boss for a rise at my next performance review. Some companies do performance reviews 3 or even 4 times a year, and others do them just once a year. As part of a performance review or performance appraisal, you may be asked to prepare a self-evaluation, and I have a great lesson on this topic full of useful vocabulary and examples for talking about your accomplishments, your goals, your performance. Check it out after you've finished watching this lesson. I'll also leave a link in the description. So the next word we're going to look at is overtime, which is time that you spend working at your job after you've worked the normal hours. So if your normal hours are 40 hours a week and in a very busy week you do 50 hours, you can say that you did 10 hours of overtime. Some companies pay their employees for overtime and others offer time off in lieu, which is basically time off for the extra hours you worked. So for example, if you do 5 hours of overtime, you can take those 5 hours off at some point in the future. Do you do much overtime in your job? Does your company offer time off in lieu? Some other useful words for talking about pay are underpaid. If you're underpaid, you're not paid enough for the work you do. My brother always says that he's overworked and underpaid. Well paid. A well-paid job pays a lot of money. If you have good qualifications and a lot of experience, you have better chances of getting a well-paid job. Overpaid. If you're overpaid, you're paid too much for the work you do. A lot of people think professional footballers are overpaid. Earlier in the lesson, we talked about deductions, the things that are taken away from your salary. But we didn't talk about things that can be added to your salary. Commission, for example. People who work in sales often earn commission, which is a percentage of the amount you sell. Paul earns a 15% commission on every vacuum cleaner he sells. Some companies also pay their employees bonuses. A bonus is an extra amount added to your salary, and it often depends on your performance, the company's performance, or both. If we don't meet our targets, we'll lose our bonus. Perks are like benefits, things that an employer offers in addition to salary to make them more attractive to potential employees. Some examples of perks are discounted memberships at local gyms, free healthy snacks, on-site childcare, or different types of health insurance. Make sure to leave me a comment and let me know which word or words were most interesting and helpful for you. And if you want to give yourself a little challenge, write your own example sentence using some of the vocabulary from this lesson into the comments. I'll get back to you with some feedback.